This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Dixon and today we're going to turn pro. So I've been stealing from repurposing Mr. Steven Pressfield's work from his book Turning Pro, which is effectively the sequel to his book The War of Art. Yesterday I talked about how the immature is terrified, or basically the fear of the immature as well. And today I'm going to talk about the fact that the professional is also terrified. So we're going to pull that apart a little bit. We're going to probably actually go through a couple of his pages today, which shouldn't take too long. Then once again, I'll pull it apart. I think this part is very important. But I do recommend this book. I also recommend his other book, The War of Art. Now, if one thing I'll be starting, pretty much, I go to Melbourne this week, but after that, one of the things I'll be going through is on my Instagram is having a daily video on there, just 2 to 3 minutes, doing pretty much exactly what I'm doing here, but just pulling apart some of the books that I read and expanding on it as well. So if you haven't already got me on Instagram, jump on Instagram and find me at ddnix, and on Instagram TV I'll be doing that, so check it out. Otherwise, let's get started with the show. So the professional is terrified too. This is page 54. The professional, by the way, is just as terrified as the amateur. In fact, the professional may be more terrified because she is more acutely conscious of herself and of her interior universe. The difference, see part 3, lies in the way the professional acts in the face of fear. So I'm going to pull that apart a little bit, but I'm going to read through the whole thing first. I'm going to go to part 3 and read through the qualities of the professional. And then I'm going to come back, pull that apart a little bit, then pull apart the qualities. So then jumping into part 3, which is page 90. In The War of Art, I listed the following as habits and qualities that the professional possesses that the amateur doesn't. 1. The professional shows up every day. 2. The professional stays on the job all day. 3. The professional is committed over the long haul. 4. For the professional, the stakes are high and real. 5. The professional is patient. 6. The professional seeks order. 7. The professional demystifies. 8. The professional acts in the face of fear. 9. The professional accepts no excuses. 10. The professional plays it as it lays. 11. The professional is prepared. 12. The professional does not show off. 13. The professional dedicates himself to mastering technique. 14. The professional does not hesitate to ask for help. 15. The professional does not take failure or success personally. 16. The professional does not identify with his or her instrument. 17. The professional endures adversity. 18. The professional self-validates. 19. The professional reinvents herself. 20. The professional is recognized by other professionals. Right, very good. So, what does all this fucking mean? All this crazy stuff. Great book, honestly. I've said it a couple of times. I would say if you haven't read any of his stuff, just jump on. Like I get my stuff from the book depository and just get The War of Art, Turning Pro, and do the work. Is my recommendation. So let's pull it apart. Let's have a look here. The professional is terrified too. Excuse me. So when he goes on to say, in fact, the professional may be more terrified because she is more acutely conscious of herself and of her interior universe. So what happens is the more awareness that we have around our morality, mortality, around our fragility, around all of these things that make us human, the more awareness that we have, we almost get like a little bit sick within ourselves. It's like it's to realize that you are here on this earth for this fleeting moment, and the things that we complain about can sometimes just be so insignificant, and none of it actually matters, and all the thoughts that you have while you're driving to work about things that no one actually else fucking cares about. And I'm not saying this to put it down. What I'm saying is to put it in perspective. When we actually have these awareness and we bring it into our awareness, it actually gives us freedom, right? But it's almost like the only antidote for the sickness of a little bit of awareness and consciousness, the only antidote is a lot of awareness and a lot of consciousness. And so we need to be able to move through that. We need to be able to continue to excavate our minds. And so The fact that he says here, the professional may be more terrified because she is more acutely conscious of herself and of her interior universe. It comes down to you don't just go, oh, this is the reason why I want to do this anymore. It's like, no, what's the reason behind the reason? And we start to see ourselves stripped away from all of the fluff, and that can be scary. And it can be terrifying, and it can be liberating. And so the importance of us to really excavate ourselves and get to this point where we can truly understand why we do what we do. Some of the reasons you'll be fucking shocked for. You're like, holy shit, I didn't think that impacted me as much, or I thought I was never like that, or I do whatever I can to not be like that. It's like, yeah, we all do. I hear. But you are, and that's something that's dictating how you're acting. So what are you going to do about it? And I think that's powerful, and I think we underestimate the importance of going through and really excavating our mind in that way, and being brave enough to see ourselves completely unfiltered. So he goes on to say, I'm only going to pull out, he was 20 points here, I'm going to pull out about 6 or 7 of them, okay? Now let's start with the first 4. The professional shows up every day, every fucking damn day, no matter what. You set the alarm and you move forward towards it. If you don't feel like training, get to the gym, start moving, and if after 10 minutes you still don't feel like training, cool, no problem. You might need a rest. That's fine. But don't make the decision before you get there unless you know within yourself that that's not the right thing to do and you've said no for the right reason. This is the same for everything else, right? It's exactly the same for everything else. Do something every damn day. Someone's like, how can I get fitter? I'm training twice a week. It's like, do it more often. I don't have time. It's like, then don't do it more often, but don't expect to get fitter. It's that process. How do I get better at playing the guitar? How often are you doing it? I have lessons every week. Yeah. But do they go for what every week? It's like, oh, once or twice a week. It's like, do it every fucking day. But I'm not very good. I'm like, yeah, I know. That's the whole idea. Be the fucking student. Be the beginner. It's okay to be the beginner. If you want to be a master, you got to rock up every single day. So every damn day. That's number 1. The professional stays on the job all day. Now, this is an interesting one. This goes back onto the distraction addiction as well. The professional will be focused and become aware of his or her thoughts when they're getting distracted. And what they do with that is power. Maybe that means that they have a break and they go train, or they go for a walk, or they catch up for a coffee with someone, or whatever the case might be. But you got to not just excavate your mind, but hack your personality to be able to make sure that you're making the right decisions for how you can operate the best throughout the day. The professional is committed over the long haul. The long game is single-handedly the most important function of how we do what we do. That is how we build legacy. And some people maybe they don't think legacy is very crucial, and they have children, and you're like, that's your fucking legacy right there. You don't understand. Legacy isn't about necessarily speaking in front of tens of thousands of people. It's making sure that your grandchildren fucking remember you and know you and be like, man, if I'm half the man grandpa was, if I'm half the woman grandma was, then that's power, and that's what we're looking at. And so the long game is keeping your eyes macro and acting micro allows you to work through the shit because you see the big picture. For the professional, the stakes are high and real. This isn't a joke anymore. Now, in saying that, it's like one of the most crucial things about living is play and having fun and laughter. And I really think that is. There needs to be that element in there, right? But what's crucial about this, for the professional, the stakes are high and real. It's like, once you've moved towards something you want to do, the thought of going back and working for the man that you fucking hate, or working the job that pulls your soul apart, or doing something because you think that that's going to make somebody happy, it's just like, once you've freed yourself from dogma, that liberation, you have no idea where that can take you. And not only that, where it can influence other people around you to do the same thing. People want to help other people. You do that by helping yourself. You do that by leading, because it's not your responsibility to take care of someone else. It's not your responsibility to be over responsible for somebody else. It doesn't mean you shouldn't love and you shouldn't care and you shouldn't do that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that one of the best ways to do that is lead by example. Don't sacrifice yourself in the face of someone else, because you're just sacrificing them as well. Now, number 12, the professional does not show off. This is interesting. I'll come back to this one in a moment. Number 15, the professional does not take failure or success personally. See, self-confidence and self-assurance and being okay and 100% with who you are, comes down to this so much. It's like, Professional does not take failure or success personally. Like, well, we should take success personally. We should take failure personally. It's like, well, maybe or maybe not. Maybe the failure hasn't got something to do with you. It's just got something to do with the idea, and you're not the idea, right? And the success, maybe you got a little bit lucky because the market was good at that point in time. It's like, that is, if you change your identity and emotions and feelings based on success or failure and the different definitions and meanings of that, you're going to be pulled left, right, and center. Bring yourself back to this sort of stoic idea of being centered and just dealing with things as they arise. Don't draw swords at lunchtime. It's understanding that when neither praise nor criticism can touch you, that's a beautiful place to be in. Number 18, the professional self-validates. This is the whole not show-off thing, is that, and I've been guilty of this for many years, like the idea of showing off so you can get validation, right? I've done that. And seeing it, I was like, right, I'm looking for validation because I'm not validating myself. And so the whole idea of self-validation isn't this sort of like, masturbation idea of like, oh, look how good I am. It's just like, I don't need someone to tell me that I'm doing good work because I can feel it come through me and I'm here for the long haul. And that's a beautiful place to be in. The last one, the professional reinvents herself. Yes, that's correct, because the world will change and things are outside of your control. And as long as you focus on what's in your control, you can reinvent yourself. You're in control of how you respond, what you say, how you think, or at least the thoughts you deem to be true, and your actions. Focus on that and make sure you turn pro. Team, thank you so much for listening into my podcast once again. If you found this podcast beneficial, it would mean the world to me if you would share it with someone else who you think would also find it beneficial and needs to turn pro and is just on that sort of borderline of tipping point. Otherwise, team, if you haven't already, jump on Mood Prep Online. It's going to change in just a couple of days. As of the 1st of July, I'm going to change it. So please jump on there online. And if you haven't already, it would mean the world to me as well if you could grab a pre-order of my book. I'm about 190 sales, which is very exciting, but early days. You should always find that in the comments on Facebook. Look, that's it. 12 minutes. It's too long. I'm out. Thank you very much for listening. Much love. And as always, peace and pizza. Kick today in the dick. Slay the dragon. I'll see you soon.
To be everything at once, be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.